On this edition of CAPS 13 News, one Pitt State building is going through a third stage of renovation. Plus, an organization that provides basic necessities now has a new leader. And nearly 1,000 potential students visit campus to see what the university has to offer. All that and more coming up on CAPS 13 News.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of CAPS 13 News. I'm Vanessa Tapia.
And I'm Barrett Young. Pitt State's library is getting a makeover that is long overdue. Windows at the Axel Library are currently being replaced with energy-efficient glass. The old windows have been there for more than half a century. This is only a small part of a much bigger project. The library has also remodeled the basement and third floor, adding in new study areas and even a classroom.
It's an ongoing project of sorts. This is our third year that we've been doing projects, and students will know that we've touched the third floor, parts of the basement, and other areas of the building. And then we have a big project that's slated to begin this coming summer, late in May of 2019.
The summer project will include a complete remodel of the entry first floor of the library. Library personnel say students will be able to use all of the facilities at the library in fall 2019.
The Gorilla Pantry has found new leadership under the Campus Activities Center, further working toward their goal of ending hunger insecurity. Taylor Panzer is the program coordinator for the campus activities and oversees prevention and wellness. She recently took on a new role within the Gorilla Pantry located in 310 Whitesett. Panzer began her position at the pantry this semester in January to offer more hours to PSU students and staff. Panzer says the Gorilla Pantry allows students who may not have access to transportation or are low income to get basic necessities such as food and toiletries. The pantry is open to all PSU students, staff, and faculty with a valid PSU ID.
So the goal of the Gorilla Pantry is to end food hunger. Food insecurity is a major problem that universities and institutions are seeing across the nation. And so having a pantry on campus is to help students meet basic needs that they aren't meeting. It's a great opportunity to oversee the pantry because it gives it stability and consistent hours, and so that allows students to have access to food and other basic needs like personal hygiene items and toiletries.
Gorilla Pantry is open Friday from 8 a.m. to noon, or individuals may schedule an appointment by email or calling the CAC. Those who visit the pantry will need to fill out an intake form and can take about 7 items. Donations are also encouraged. Boxes can be found at the Student Center, Axe Library, Rec Center, and College of Education in Hughes 115. Online donations are also accepted via the Gorilla Pantry's Amazon wish list at pittstate.edu/gethelp or the CAC's social media pages.
Rumble in the Jungle welcomes high school and transfer students to the PSU campus. More than 950 students, parents, and guests made their way to the Bicknell Family Center for the day. There, they were greeted by The main purpose of the day is to take participants around the campus.
So today when they get here, they're going to do things like some of them will tour the Kansas Technology Center, they'll tour our main campus, they'll get to meet with academic advisors during our academic fair, and then also we're going to have lunch over in Gorilla Village. And so, you know, all of that is really just geared to get them more interested in our university.
The annual Rumble in the Jungle event is a great way to introduce students to the opportunities offered at PSU.
In the northern part of Lane County, there sits an old general store and Grange building. For almost 20 years, music can be heard playing while the sound of dancing feet fills the air of the old Grange every Friday night.
I had the chance to learn more about dancing for the young at heart at the Cadmus Grange. The Friday night dances are a weekly mainstay for many of the dancers. All ages come to enjoy fellowship, food, and the fun of dancing. The live band, Country Oaks, plays all types of music, which allows for a variety of dances. It's a family affair.
We've been coming to Cadmus for a couple years now. We started coming because his grandpa wanted us to, and it's just really fun. Like, we like coming and dancing with all the people, and I'm 20 years old and not many people come that are my age, so it's kind of different to be the youngest person, but it's a lot of fun.
'95.
95, and you still dance?
Still dance. Good exercise.
Well, the majority of them are pretty old, but it's a mixture. It's a good mixture. It's all, after a while, it's kind of like family. All the different types of dances. We do all kinds: line dance, polka, waltz, two-step, cha-cha. You name it, we do it. Don't do the mambo, but
When asked why they come to the Cadmus dance, they said,
oh, it's the camaraderie of everybody, and knowing all the folks and playing the music. That's what's the main thing.
All the people, the crowds. We've had some really good crowds, and everyone has a good time, and they help each other.
It's one of the better dances. Always good music, good friends, good people, and some good food.
the night this was filmed, the Grange was all decked out for their Sweetheart theme dance. Normally, once a month, some special theme night is offered, as well as a clean, safe place to spend time.
it's decked out by a lady by the name of Dee Young for every kind of holiday that comes along. It's very interesting. She spends a lot of time, her and her son. They spend a lot of time here decorating the place, and everybody, the floor is clean. It's a clean place. There's no drinking, no smoking.
When asked if dancing keeps them young and active, dancers responded,
Oh, I think it does. It really does. It just makes you, I said I can't walk a mile, but I believe I could dance a mile.
Because I enjoy it, and it's a good source of exercise. That's what keeps me young.
For CAPS 13 News, I'm Barrett Young. So head up towards Cadmus some Friday night and join the Unit Heart for an evening of dancing. For more information, contact Wayne and Florence Harkle Road at 913-731-4634.
The Guerrilla Activity Sport hosts many events throughout the year, including bringing comedian Kevin Bosman to campus. Kevin started his career by going to an open mic night in Madison, Wisconsin. Since then, he has entertained crowds all over the country. He has appeared on Comedy Central, NBC, CBS, and Fox. It was an evening filled with laughs at the U Club. Kevin tells us what was his favorite part about his show.
Probably anything that's spontaneous that comes out, which I'm not even, I say it and it's kind of just forget it, but anything that's spontaneous that wasn't planned is always fun to me. The unknown, the fear of the unknown is good. Making people laugh is just a fun thing. It's a good feeling where you can go in and take people's problems away for an hour or so.
Follow the Guerrilla Activity Sport at Pitt State Gab to stay informed on upcoming events.
Coming up on CAPS 13, an annual event brings dance and food to the PSU campus.
Plus, another cultural day demonstrates a martial art form. We'll be right back.
I'm always the first one up. I'm always up for a challenge. I'll overcome any obstacle. I don't believe in limits. I refuse to be average.
Hey Guerrilla Nation, this is Stu Height, Chief of Police here at Pittsburg State. Hope you're off to a great semester, and we want to just give you a couple of reminders of how to take care of your valuables. Please don't ever leave them unattended for any length of time at all. We live on a very safe campus and a very safe community, but you can never be too safe. So if you ever need anything, if you have any questions, any concerns, about anything ranging from parking or just safety and security, please feel free to call us anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Go Gorillas!
The skills you can develop in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your interests in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Gain practical experience with emerging technology and equipment that you can transfer to an exciting new field. Get a head start on your career while serving part-time and earning money to pay for college. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard.
The African Student Association is putting on its annual African Cultural Night on April 5th.
Cavs 13's Zachary Hart tells us more about his intercultural event.
African Cultural Night is a time for students at Pittsburg State University to get a taste of African culture.
We want to share our culture to other people, the culture that people don't know, like how we dress in Africa, how we eat in Africa, how we dance in Africa.
Attendees will be treated to a 2-hour performance at the Bicknell Center that includes dancing, drumming, and traditional stories involving Africa's past. After that, attendees will go to the Alumni Center in order to experience traditional African foods from all around the continent.
Africa is a beautiful place, beautiful people, and good food. So we want them to we want to give them the feeling that they can go anytime there, and we want to push them to actually go visit Africa and some countries down there.
While President Rigo Bro wants students to have fun at the event, he says the main purpose behind it is to show Americans what Africa is like.
What's Africa? Because even when you go online, they're going to show you some stuff about Africa that's not real the part of Africa. They're going to only show you the poor part of Africa. And so we want to show people that Africa is like every country.
African Cultural Night has been a spring tradition at Pittsburg State University since the African Student Association first started in 2009. Rigo Bro says that they're expecting alumni from 10 years ago to attend this year.
We're going to have our alumni that were here 10 years ago that are going to be there too. So it's pretty much open to everybody because it's going to be a day where we're going to share everything about Africa. So anybody that's interested about learning Africa is welcome to come.
For Caps 13 News, I'm Zachary Hart.
African Cultural Night will be held Friday, April 5th from 5 to 8 p.m. in the Bicknell Center. Tickets for the event are available in their international and student diversity offices. The association is hosting their event called Zumba with Pittsburgh Zumberas. It will be held on Saturday, March 30th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Student Recreation Center. The cost is $5 for students and $7 for non-students.
The Korean Student Association hosts its own Korean Cultural Day annually. Pittsburg State students are able to experience a large variety of Korean culture. This includes traditional Korean costumes, music, and food, as well as more modern K-pop music and dance. Students can also experience a demonstration of Taekwondo, a Korean martial art.
The Korean Culture Day is show off our Korean culture, and then costume, everything. And then the most important thing is sharing our culture with the United States, and then with the other students.
Tickets for the event are $5 and can be purchased in the International Services Office in Whiteside.
Coming up on Caps 13, rain is expected to move into the 4 states. I'll have the latest.
Plus, with spring weather finally making an appearance, farmers in southeast Kansas are assessing their fields. The latest crop report when we return.
Okay, let me check on that for you. It doesn't say we have any reservations.
What do you mean you don't have any reservations?
I'm sorry.
I came in and reserved this yesterday.
I guess they didn't.
Come on, let's get it together. My coffee tasted horrible this morning. I didn't study for my test and I failed it. You're just adding on to my day for no reason.
I wasn't working yesterday. I wasn't the one that.
Get on it. I don't know. Is there something we can do?
Are you having a hard day? So is the person you're yelling at. Don't be part of the problem.
Vision loss is not something that you feel until it happens.
Most people lose their vision from diseases like macular degeneration and glaucoma, not at birth.
3 million Americans have glaucoma, and half don't even know it.
11 million people in the United States have macular degeneration.
So many eye disorders can be treated if caught early.
Make a plan today to get your eyes checked.
Visit brightfocus.org to learn more.
Hopefully you enjoyed the weather the last few days because we are expecting some rain this week. It will be mostly cloudy this evening with a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. There will be wind gusts as high as 21 miles per hour. For tomorrow, it will be cloudy with a high near 65. There is a 60% chance of precipitation during the day, but it increases to 80% at night. Rainfall amounts between 1/4 and 1/2 inch are possible. It will be very windy on Saturday with a high near 48 and wind gusts of up to 30 miles per hour. There is also a 50% chance of showers before noon. The rest of the week will be mostly sunny. Sunday and Monday will have highs around 50 degrees. Tuesday has a high of 63, and Wednesday will be mostly sunny with highs around 50 degrees. Now we will send it over to Barrett with the most updated crop report.
Thank you, Vanessa. Spring has sprung in southeast Kansas, along with the bordering states of Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa, have seen cold weather and increased precipitation so far this year. Extreme flooding, as seen in this clip from the Associated Press of Ashland, Nebraska, has played havoc with fields and livestock as well. Fortunately, that has not happened to us in southeast Kansas. In a normal year, farmers by now have sprayed, fertilized, and or tilled the soil in preparation for the corn planting. James Cover, crop production agent in Girard, Kansas, said that this year has been delayed. He has noted that on a few warm and dry days in the past few weeks, some farmers have been able to get out in the fields and make some progress in planting corn. Hopefully, the weather will allow more to be planted in the coming weeks. The winter we had this year slowed down and the growth of any winter wheat that was planted in the area. Cover said that the wheat is probably 1 to 2 weeks behind, but that should be a good thing since fields were too wet to get in earlier. Fertilizer didn't get on as normal, but now that fields are drying out, they can get on. Since wheat does not like wet feet, so to speak, the winter has been hard on it here in southeast Kansas. Cover said some low-lying flat fields have lots of bare spots. Fields planted earlier on higher ground with a drainage looks a bit better. Now we'll look at the NOAA map. According to the NOAA forecasters, the April through June precipitation outlook, you can see in the Pacific Northwest it seems to be a little bit above average, so a little bit more moisture content in there. And then in the Carolinas and in the southern part of the state, we have above average rain, so a little bit more moisture down there also. But on the northeastern and California sections, we have an equal chance of precipitation. But for southeast Kansas, it is near or slightly above average precipitation. We just need to wait and see how the April weather impacts the corn and the wheat crops in the area and affects the farmers.
Thanks, Barrett. Coming up in sports, the PSU football team is preparing for next season.
Plus, the outdoor season starts for track and field. Caleb Lifno has more after the break.
You're going to need me. You're going to need us.
All of us. You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food. You're going to need our determination, our compassion. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
It may be the offseason, but that is not stopping the Pitt State football squad from preparing for next year's season. I spoke with head coach Tim Beck and senior Ned Bingaman about how they feel heading into next season.
Spring football practices have began for the Gorillas as they meet every Tuesday and Thursday morning to prepare for the upcoming football season. I talked to head coach Tim Beck about what his philosophy is during these practices, as well as what he expects from his players.
So what we've done up to this point is we're on practice 4 today, and we had some live action a little bit today, but the main thing is to understand our alignments, our assignments, and make sure that we understand the importance of every single practice.
Unfortunately, not all members of the team are able to be participating in these practices due to injury, but Coach Beck tells us why that may be a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, you know, we've got a bunch of our guys that have had injuries, some of our top-tier guys that aren't practicing, but that gives all the other guys an opportunity to get reps.
With these practices just nearly beginning, team captains have not been named, and Tim Beck said that is the next biggest thing to look forward to out of the Gorilla Camp.
Here, probably in another couple of weeks, vote for captains to see who our captains are for this next season, which is always a big deal for us. But got good leadership by our seniors right now, and a lot of guys that are stepping up and setting good examples for us.
Coach Beck is happy with the senior leadership, and we talked to senior Ned Bingaman, who tells us how they have achieved this.
I think all the older guys and just everybody on the team in general, make sure that we hold each other accountable, make sure everybody's doing what they need to do to be the best possible, and just keep working every day.
Bingaman also says they know expectations for this team are high from their coaches and community around them, but they hope to use that senior leadership to propel them into the 2019 season as they gun for an MIAA conference title. For Caps 13 News, I'm Caleb Withno.
While the football team preps for their new season, PSU's track and field squads begin their outdoor seasons at the ESU Invitational in Emporia, Kansas this Saturday. It was a good day for individual performers as both men's and women's players received first place honors. Courtney Nelson grabbed the top spot on the podium in the women's 400 meter, and Joshua Hudeberg enjoyed his first meet with the javelin throw event since last outdoor season, securing first place on a personal best 218-foot javelin throw. PSU also recorded several second-place finishes in the throwing events as well, with Levi Wyrick placing second in the hammer throw after his toss of 196 feet, while Jenna Black beat her personal best in discus and placed second in women's shot put with a throw of 50 feet. Staying in Emporia, we will catch you up on the softball team's most recent action as the Gorillas played in the Emporia State Softball Classic that went from last Thursday to Saturday. Let's take a look at the Gorillas' first game against St. Cloud State. It took 8 innings, but Pittsburg State pulled off the win against the Huskies after a sacrifice fly by Mackenzie Goswick scored Ali Gutski which would be the go-ahead and eventual game-winning run. There is no major outstanding offensive performer, as the highest performing batter was Katie Kikowski, who went 1 for 3 with only 1 hit, but had 2 RBIs. The winning pitcher was Hallie Brent, as she pitched 3 innings, allowing 1 hit and no earned runs. The Gorillas would lose their next 2 games of the tournament, as they were then set to play the Cougars of Sioux Falls University. After a 2-run first inning for the Cougars, they found themselves trailing, but a 7-run fourth inning set up the Gorillas for a smooth ride home for the rest of the game. That 7th inning run was due primarily to not 1 but 2 Gorilla homers, as Madison Wagner hit a 2-run bomb, to which Kayla Holder said, "Anything you can do, I can do better," as she hit a 3-run blast later in the same inning. The influx of points made it easy on starting pitcher Shelby Smith, as she took the win as she pitched 7 innings, giving up 4 hits and 4 earned runs. Now let's finally leave Emporia and take I-35 all the way down to Edmonton, Oklahoma, where the Gorillas faced a tough road series against the University of Central Oklahoma. Well, unlike the softball team, the baseball team unfortunately did not have the same luck, as the Gorillas would be swept straight out of Oklahoma by the Broncos, as they lost all 3 games of the road series. However, the Gorillas played Central Oklahoma close in every game, as the largest margin of victory for UCO was just 3 runs. The Gorillas beat the best chance at a win this weekend came in the first game after they went up 4-2 in the 4th inning. However, the Gorillas would give up 3 runs in the 6th and 7th to eventually lose the lead in the game as well. The Gorillas will hope to bounce back from that disappointing series tomorrow, Friday the 29th, as they host a 3-game series against the Mules at Al Ortolani Field right here in Pittsburgh. That'll do it for sports. Make sure you stay tuned to more Caps 13 news. We'll be right back.
Caps 13 Sports works tirelessly to bring Gorilla athletics to your living room. But when the university heads heard about the lice epidemic spreading into the area, they elected to bring in an expert.
Good luck, man.
Oh, hey, what's up, Doc? Is everything okay?
I've got a lot of things on my mind. Some things might make you laugh, some things might make you cry, some things might even compromise national security. Why is the internet so obsessed with cats? Hashtag dogs are better. Sorry, but it's true. I can't wait for my trip to Vegas this week, and hashtag Friday can't get here fast enough. Have a nice trip. I hate my job. My boss is such a Oh, crap.
Now it's time for our cinema guru to give us a lowdown on this week's movies.
So Zane, what was on this week?
The big movies this week were Us and Wonder Park. And honestly, I really wasn't fond of either. Us is rated R, written and directed by Jordan Peele, was a movie that was long awaited for fans of horror films. Jordan Peele promised to deliver a fresh take on the genre, and he did a fairly good job. Us is about a family that goes on vacation near a place where the mom had a traumatic experience during her childhood. While on the trip, the mom, Adelaide Wilson, played by Lupita Nyong'o, begins to see some tangents between her trip and the incident that happened to her in the past. The tangents then begin to conspiracy that lead into a sinister plot. The movie was excellently produced. The acting was great, the effects felt real, and the continuity was stable throughout the movie. The sound in the movie really sold the scary parts of the film. The thematic premise, or did the movie make sense and have meaning, was well done throughout the entire movie. The superficial premise, however, which was the movie actually being scary, was only existent with the first half of the movie. Us made things that aren't supposed to be scary very scary in the beginning of the movie, and tried to make everything scary in the later part of the movie, and then it felt like nothing was scary. And as a whole, it felt more like an action thriller at the end. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 95%, IGN gave it a 9 out of 10, fan reviews gave it a 71%, and I give it a 6 out of 10. Now, on the PG side of things, A Wonder Park, written and directed by Josh Abram and Andre Nemec, and Robert Gordon also assisted in writing. Wonder Park is a good children's movie. It's not really an adult's movie, though. The story is about a creative child named June, voiced by Brianna Densky, whose mom gets sick and must go away to get better. June, not knowing how to deal with her mom being gone, ends up in the park that she created with her mom while she was younger. The park is also being destroyed by darkness and tiny chimps, and it's up to June to save it. The movie was pretty good. It had a steady flow and a sense of comedy that kids got, and a plot that was really easy to follow. The film seems to be solely made for the purpose of teaching kids how to face their fears. I think the picture could have done more to intrigue an adult audience, but I appreciate where it's coming from. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 29%, IMDb gave it a 5.7 out of 10, and fan reviews gave it a 37%. And I give it a 7 out of 10. And that's really all there was about movies. This has been your movie review with your cinema guru.
Thanks, Zane.
That does it for this week's edition of Caps 13 News.
Also visit us on Facebook at Caps 13 Pittsburg State University. Stay tuned to Caps 13 for more great programming.